Father Yah. You know, it's been a long while, isn't it? Hallelujah. Now, you know, me and my son should preach today. But since my son is a little bit long-winded now, he did his part last Shabbat. So now instead of you having two preachers and one Shabbat, you're going to have one each. And actually, when I asked Father Yah about the word for my lesson for today, he gave me one word. And, you know, I tried to add a word to the word that he gave me. And actually, I even printed the sermon yesterday, or last night, should I say. But then, you know, for the first time, I was awoke this morning, and then he told me, "You don't need to add anything on my word." So when I get up this early morning, actually I need to get early up a little bit earlier than should be, because I need to change the one I printed last night. I said, okay. And I don't know how am I going to deliver this message, because I don't understand why the title of this message is like this one. But the prayers of Sister Deborah, call it confirmation. Because last night when we did our service in the Philippines, I received a lot of prayers. And the way I said the prayers, I did not ask for Father Yah to heal those prayers and give it to them, but I already thanked Father Yah that he is going to do it. And then this morning, as I'm thinking about it, because the way how our brothers and sisters in the Philippines testify about the goodness of Father Yah, I said, I'm so glad and so joyful to hear them testifying. And then this morning, when Sister Deborah said, we love to ask almost everything. But then sometimes we forgot that even just this moment, that He allows us to be here in His sanctuary, that He allows us to wake us another morning, it is already Thanksgiving. And I praise Father Yah for everything that he had done and about to do. Because I know, in my part, I come to the conclusion that whatever happens to me, whatever comes to me, it's always a blessing. Even though sometimes we human distinguish our own blessing. Sometimes we thought the things that comes in our own way, the way how we understand these things, are what we call blessings if it is within the way how we want it to be. And if it is not the way we want it to be, which is the other way, we thought it is not a blessing. And you ask the question why it happens to you. And then you are going to question your faith, why me? But since I'm a student of my pastor, I say, why not? But if we come to the conclusion that everything happening in this world is either allowed by Father Yah, condoned by Father Yah, or Father Yah made it to be, then everything that comes into our life will always be a blessing. So today, the word that Father Yah gave me just said one word: remember. Now, if I'm going to step on your toes, forgive me, but don't shoot the messenger. I'm just delivering the message. And honestly, it step on my toes first before you're going to have this. Because when I'm writing this one, I said, ouch. I need to go back to see what I missed. Because in our walks of life, it's easily to miss the goal. Sometimes, just blink of an eye and we forget things. Just like me and my son is talking while we are traveling, coming here in the sanctuary. He is asking me the question, why, what is the reason why people flux into one church and they are getting away from another? And I told my son, comfort, conviction. If there's one thing that people don't want to hear is when the word convicts them. When the truth hurts you, when the truth shoots at you, you feel as if you don't want to be hurt, you don't want, just like, it's not me. Just like we are trying to defend what we are doing. You call that in English, you are sour graping. You are trying to defend what you did to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. And it is the easiest way that human beings going to accept. They don't want to be convicted. So if the word convicts you today, just say ouch, and hoping and praying that we're going to learn from it.
Thank you.
The first, actually, this is not my first verse, but Father Yah gave me this first verse just early this morning. It is in Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 15. And you shall remember that you are a slave in the land of Mizraim. Now, that word alone convicts us already. You should remember way back then where you came from when I found you in your mess. When we were tangled into this world, knowing and thinking that what we are doing is right. Because again, we put it in our eyes, we put it in front of us, that what we think, what we do, what we see is right. That's why we're doing it in the first place, isn't it? And we were there, just like that. That's why Father Yahweh said, remember where I brought you from. I want you to go back and remember where I brought you from. It's not you who brought yourself up. It's not your wife. It's not your job. It's not Pastor Isaac. Probably he used Pastor Isaac to convict you with his word, but it is him who brought you from your mess. And that, he said here, Almighty Yah, your Elohim brought you from there by what? A strong hand. And by an outstretched arm. And then therefore, Father Yah said, He commanded you to perform the Sabbath day. Please be seated. To perform the Sabbath.
Go to work.
Now, when he said perform the Sabbath, there's no if, there's no but, there's no condition speculated when he said this word. He did not say you perform the Sabbath, you observe the Sabbath, you keep the Sabbath if you are in your comfort zone. No, it is not. Because if we are going to justify our actions in everything that we do, even though it is against the law of Father Yahweh, we are circumventing the word because we think we are so smart to do it. by just this first verse alone, I know one way or the other because it convicts me. I said, ouch. The moment the sun goes down Friday night, did we try and keep our best to observe the start of the Shabbat until today's sundown? Just the talking of outside world is already a sin we are committing against His Shabbat. Just talking merely about something else, because in Isaiah he said, observe my Shabbat. Don't do anything with your own pleasure. Sometimes we forget that by just this first verse alone, if we have the knowledge of Father Yah, of Him, we should say ouch. Because if you never receive any conviction at all with this one, what's the point? Now you know I'm going to speak probably 2 hours or more. There's no point for you sitting in your pews and going to listen to me for almost 2 hours if you're not going to hear anything that will convict you in the end of the day. In Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 7. Now sometimes we miss this, that this is what we do almost every day. In Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 7, remember, do not forget how we provoke the wrath of Father Yah in the wilderness. When we out there by ourselves, when nobody is looking at us, when our wives not looking, when our husband not looking, when our children are not looking, are we still the son of Father Yah? Are we still the children of Father Yah? Just like last night, one of our sisters remembered what I preached way back then. It says, in everything you say, you will be judged. In everything you do, we will be judged at the end of the day. So every time she went out, she always remembered to say good things. But are we doing that? Are we, instead of being the light of the world, are we putting shame on the name of Father Yah? Because we are proclaiming that we are the children of the Most High. So, by your word, you will be judged, because if you are talking something that is against the word of Father Yah, you're putting Him in shame. And our rabbi said, if you put my name in shame, I'm going to put your name too in shame in the front of my Father. That's how serious it is. But sometimes we just, it's okay. Yeah, it is okay. But remember, what's that? Is it in Ecclesiastes? We say, go young man. Go what you want to do. Be merry. Be joyful. Do the things that you want.